Hi there, if you are converting natural language to SQL but you are not using a semantic layer, you are making a big mistake, and let me tell you why. So let us take three approaches of converting natural language to SQL, and the most simplistic approach is you will send a prompt to a large language model, and this is a very simplistic prompt. It doesn't have any table definitions. So this is going to mostly create an SQL which is not going to work, because it will have some table definitions which are not within your context. So for example, here you have a table which is called as orders, but you might not have a table called as orders. You will just have a table which is, for example, cust_order. So this approach is mostly not going to work. Now, a second approach is to have all the table definitions, all the tables what you are using inside the prompt. So this is of course going to give you a correct SQL. For example, here you have a table which is cust_orders, which is the right table. But the problem with this approach is that your prompt is going to be very overloaded. You will incur huge amount of token cost, as well as you will also incur a huge, very high context windows. So this approach is also not very practical when you have lots and lots of tables, which is also the case for many enterprises. So the third approach, which is a very intelligent approach, is to use a semantic layer. So a semantic layer is basically a table definitions, list of tables. It has got the relationship between tables, metadata definitions, as well as KPIs, and then you store this semantics into a vector store. And whenever you have a natural language query, you are going to retrieve only the necessary tables which are required for your query, and then you are going to make the prompt only with those tables. So the LLM is going to give you the correct SQL. It is going to correctly identify that yes, for customer orders you have to use the cust_orders, but at the same time you are not also overloading your prompt. It means that your prompt has got low cost, the total optimized token cost is much less, and the context window is also manageable. Now let me show you on how to implement this using Python. So first of all, you will need an packages. You have to import various packages, and here I'm going to use OpenAI package because the large language model which I'm going to use is going to come from OpenAI, and you'll also need an API key. Next step is to define this semantic layer. So this is basically a kind of an central metadata repository which has got the single source of truth for your database schema. So this is basically a YAML file which will have the table definitions, the different columns, as well as different column values. So for example, here I have an retail database, and I have different table names like the order header, customer master, the product category, as well as the order line items. And for each of these I have a description of the table, as well as also I have the column names. So this is your semantic information which you can then store it in a semantic layer. Now what you need to do is you need to also convert all the semantic information into an vectorized format, so that later on it can be used to retrieve the relevant number of tables. So here, for example, I'm using an embedding model called as text embedding 3 small, which can be used to vectorize all the semantic layer information. I can use this function called as embedding.create, which is going to create the embeddings, and then if I want to retrieve the embeddings, I can use the function called as cosine similarity to locate the tables which are very closest to my query. Now I'm also using an helper function called as build table embedding text, which is going to convert this JSON of type format into a flat text, which I can use it for embedding purposes. Now here I have my embedding which is done, and then you are ready to retrieve all these table names, the relevant table names, using this semantic retrieval engine. So here what you need to do is you need to embed the question, and then you need to find the relevant table, the closest table definitions to your user query using cosine similarity functions. And then you are going to inject the retrieved tables, the relevant tables, into the SQL prompt. So the SQL prompt would be something like this, that you are an SQL expert, convert the user's natural language question into SQL query, and then you are going to plug in the tables which have been retrieved using the semantic engine. So let us see an example. So here you have a question such as show me the top 5 customers by total orders, and here you can see that out of the 4 tables, only the 2 tables have been selected because they are the most relevant to your specific question. And here you see the generated prompt. So here you have the SQL as well as you also have only the 2 tables as well as their definitions, which are very relevant for the query which you have requested. So this is a very interesting approach because you are not overloading the SQL, you are not overloading the prompt, and you are also making sure that your token cost is under control. Now let us also do a kind of a side-by-side comparison of this hard-coded approach as well as the semantic layer approach. So in this hard-coded approach is to have all the table definitions in your prompt. So here I've taken only 4, but you can imagine for a large enterprise you can have thousands and thousands of tables. So in this case this is only going to be overloaded. But on the other hand, you can use this semantic approach, which is going to retrieve the relevant tables, and it is going to build the tables based on just this relevant retrieved tables. Now let us see a side-by-side comparison. So for example, if I take this query like show me the top 5 customer by total orders, and you can see that the hard-coded prompt has got 1291 characters, while on the other hand the semantic prompt, the focus prompt, has only 944 characteristics. Also you will see a difference in the quality of the results, of the quality of the SQL which is generated. So for example, this is the SQL which is generated using this hard-coded prompt, and here you can see that it has only got the order header, it doesn't have the customer master. So in your output you will not have the customer description, you will only have the ID, which is not ideal, right? And this happens because your prompt is very large and the large language model is confused and it is going to generate a very simplistic SQL. On the other hand, if you have a focused prompt, you will see that you have the order header as well as you also have the customer master. So this SQL will give a result which will have the customer name as well as the total revenue. So this is a very high quality results because your prompt is very focused and the LLM is not getting confused. So now let us also see another advantage, which is this maintainability win. So if you are using a focused prompt, a semantic approach, and if you have new table which is coming in, you do not have to think of modifying a prompt. You just need to inject the new table along with this description and definition into the semantic layer, embed it, and voila, you go. You have your semantic engine which is ready to use, and it is going to also give you the right answers if a table is going to use, if the query which is requested requires this additional table. So that was a quick overview of the advantage of a semantic layer, and I would recommend that whenever you have a use case of converting data into insights, you should always use a semantic layer. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, as well as give me your comment that what is the value you see of the semantic layer from your point of view. See you soon, keep learning, and thank you for watching. Bye.